What if I told you about a crime so perfect, it was basically a work of art? I mean, flawlessly planned, beautifully executed, but then one tiny human mistake brought the whole thing crashing down. Yeah, we're talking about the legendary Banco Rio heist. All right, let's set the scene. You're in Argentina, January 2006. A bank is completely surrounded by police. Inside, a gang of robbers with 23 hostages. The whole thing is a super tense standoff that lasts for hours, and then radio silence. The police finally decide to go in, they storm the bank, but what do they find? Well, what they find is a total mind bender. All the hostages, they're totally fine. The vault, completely empty. And the robbers, gone. Just vanished. The police are tearing the place apart, looking for any possible escape route, a broken wall, a tunnel, anything. But there's nothing. It's like they just disappeared into thin air. So how did they do it? To figure that out, we've got to go all the way back. Okay, so this whole vanishing act, it all starts with one guy, the mastermind. And for him, this was never just a crime. It was his masterpiece. This is Fernando Araujo. And get this, he wasn't your typical criminal. Nope, he was an artist, kind of a philosopher, who one day just casually tells his therapist he wants to rob a bank. Not for the money, mind you, but as art. His therapist basically brushed it off, probably thought he was just high. Spoiler alert, he was not kidding. Now, an artist needs his tools, right? Araujo knew he couldn't pull this off alone, so he put together a dream team, an Ocean's 11 kind of crew. You had Sebastián, the engineer, a total technical genius. Then there was Beto de la Torre, the financier, who brought the cash and the connections. And finally, Louis Fittet, the tough guy, or maybe the actor, a con man with a real talent for drama. He'd be the star of the show. So, with his crew assembled, Araujo's crazy artistic vision starts turning into a real, honest-to-God plan. And it was something else. See, Araujo did his homework. He looked at how bank robberies usually go down. Option A, you run in with guns. It's fast, but you get chump change from the tellers before the cops show up. Option B, you tunnel in. That gets you to the big money vault, but, hello, alarms, sensors, it's almost impossible. So Araujo had this brilliant idea. What if you didn't choose? What if you did both? The whole plan was basically a 3-act play. First, the performance. They'd create this huge, loud hostage situation to get every cop and news camera in the city staring at the front of the bank. Then, Act 2, the real work. While everyone's watching the show upstairs, the real heist is happening silently right underneath their feet. And finally, Act 3, the vanishing act. They'd slip out through a tunnel, and the cops would be left standing there, waiting for them to give up, which, of course, they never would. And I mean, this was not a spur-of-a-moment thing. This took over a year of obsessive planning. Araujo found this huge sewer tunnel that just happened to run right by the bank. Boom, instant escape route. The team then spent months, literally months, digging a connecting tunnel. The engineer, Sebastián, he built a custom tool, they called it the cannon, just to crack open hundreds of deposit boxes super fast. They thought of everything, right down to cutting a hole in the floor of their getaway van. The level of detail is just, wow. Okay, so the plan is set. The tools are ready. It's showtime. January 13th. Go time. 3 of the guys storm the bank, waving what look like some serious weapons. They get control of everyone inside, and just like that, the place is surrounded. The news is there, broadcasting it live to the whole world. It was a media circus, and that was exactly what they wanted. And the man in the spotlight? That was Louis Fittet, the actor. He gets on the phone with a police negotiator and just owns him. He's playing this role of a tough, seen-it-all criminal, telling the cop, listen, buddy, I know all your moves. I'm in charge here. He even hangs up on the guy. It was all an act, a brilliant one, designed to stall for time. And the misdirection? It was just genius. Think about it. Upstairs, you've got Louise putting on this show, he's negotiating, he's charming the hostages. They literally sing happy birthday to one of them. And while all that's happening, down below in the vault, Araujo and the engineer are just quietly, methodically breaking into deposit box after deposit box. No one has a clue. So how much did they get? Well, that's the thing. We don't know the exact number because, people don't exactly like to tell the government what they're stashing in secret safety deposit boxes. But the police estimate somewhere around $19 million in cash, gold, and jewels. An absolutely massive haul. They've got the money. They have a seemingly impossible yet perfectly working escape plan. It's foolproof. Or is it? Because even the most brilliant plan can be wrecked by something very, very human. So how did they pull off the vanishing act? It was incredible. They just slipped back into their tunnel, slid a cabinet in front of the hole to hide it, they loaded all the loot onto rafts and floated down this giant sewer pipe. They pop out of a manhole, climb right into their van, the one with the hole in the floor, remember, and just drive off. A few hours later, the police are still outside the bank, getting ready to go in, and these guys are already at a safe house, popping champagne and watching themselves on TV. It was the perfect crime, absolutely flawless. They should have gotten away with it. But this multi-million-dollar masterpiece, this work of criminal art, it was all undone by something so simple, so human. The fatal flaw? It was the wife of the financier, Beto de la Torre. Her name was Alicia. She knew about the plan, and after the heist, she thinks her husband is about to take his cut of the money and run off with another woman. So what does she do? Scorned, furious, she walks right into a police station and spills everything. Names, dates, the whole shebang. And just like that, the dominoes start to fall. The police arrest the whole crew, one by one. The perfect crime is over. Or is it? Because our hose crew had one more trick up their sleeve. A final secret. The ultimate punchline to their whole performance. So, okay, they're all caught. They go to trial. You're thinking, okay, a $19 million heist, 23 hostages. These guys are going away for life, right? Wrong. They all got surprisingly short sentences. Some were out in just a few years. How on earth does that happen? You ready for this? The weapons? They were all toys. Every single one. The entire terrifying standoff that had the whole country watching, it was a bluff. And legally, that one little detail changes everything. Suddenly, it's not armed robbery anymore. It's a whole different and much less serious crime. So the legacy of this whole thing is just wild. They got these super light sentences. The cops never found most of the $19 million. And the note they left in the empty vault for the cops, it said, without weapons or grudges, it's only money, not love. Can you believe the nerve? They basically became folk heroes in Argentina. These guys who outsmarted everybody. So when you look back at it all, what do you call it? Was Fernando Araujo just another thief? Or was he an artist and the Banco Río was his canvas? I mean, he set out to create a masterpiece. And even though he got caught, you kind of have to admit, he got the last laugh. It really makes you think, when a crime is this clever, who do you find yourself rooting for?